I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're talking about a very compelling book. It is called Bird from Hell and Other Megafauna, second edition. It is written by Gerald McIsaac. He embarks on a journey challenging established scientific narratives about extinct megafauna and their ties to our social political systems. With a call for exploration, this author beckons readers to join him in uncovering truths that blur the lines between cryptozoology and political ideology. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us once again here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like him by subscribing to our channel. Gerald, thanks so much for being our guest again today here on Spotlight.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
This is quite a book. It sets forth quite a premise. Why don't we give the folks at home the big picture? What's it all about?
It's about the fact that these animals exist, responsible for a great many legends. The animal I'm mainly concerned with is the animal people here refer to as the devil bird. It is their belief that these animals are demons, birds from hell. And I respect the belief of all common people. There's also their belief that the caves in the mountains, which they have pointed out to me, lead directly to hell. Again, I respect their belief. It is not a bird, it is a reptile, a huge flying reptile with a wingspan of 10 to 15 meters. That is 35 to 50 feet. That is huge. It is the size of a small plane. It is frequently seen on radar, and yet the radar operators are told to disregard those sightings, and they do it because they want to keep their jobs. Now, my main focus is the fact that this animal mainly preys upon girls of childbearing age because they smell the blood. It hunts in open area. It's in darkness. It's nocturnal. That means it avoids the light, usually. In the darkness, open areas, and it is responsible for disappearance of countless young ladies and children, because children are easy to pick up and carry away. Now, it can be easily located with the help of people. I say quite easily, because it also preys upon livestock, cattle and horses. Remarkably enough, it kills these animals with a blast of poison gas. This poison gas is commonly referred to as a cloud of smoke. It is not smoke, it is toxic. Incidentally, that is where we get the legend of the fire-breathing dragon. Because in most parts of the world, this animal is referred to as a dragon. No fire, but poison gas. Now, they prefer to prey upon males, bulls and stallions, because the first thing they go for is the genitals. Then they rip the flesh off the face and rip out the large intestine. The large intestine is a very nourishing part of the anatomy. This happens in the nighttime, and then in the morning, when the farmer wakes up and finds his animal dead in the field, he generally calls the police. Now, in the States, the FBI have seen this so often, they refuse to even respond. And in all fairness, it is not a police matter. There is no law against wild animals killing livestock. However, it does not solve the problem. So what I'm suggesting is the next time the police get a call for dead livestock, to respond, to draw out a sample of blood, send it to the lab to determine the poison gas that was used to kill the animal. I'm curious. Second, swab around the wound sites send the swab to the lab for a DNA test. I'm sure the lab will say these wounds were made by a reptile, one which is not known to science. The third thing is that there is a logging road close to this village where I live, within 20 kilometers, that's 12 to 15 miles, and that road is called the 10,000 Road. Now, I was logging up there 30 years ago, so I know the caves in those mountains, which are the nesting ground of the pterodactyl, open up onto that road. It has been deactivated for many years. Now they are reopening that road to do some more logging. The first bridge is in place. The second bridge should be in place soon, God willing. And just beyond the second bridge is the nesting ground, the caves of the pterodactyl. There's a whole series of caves there. So once we prove that it does kill livestock with poison gas, it is a huge reptile making these injuries, open up the 10,000 Road, send cameras up there, even simple bush cameras, to see the animal coming out of the cave. And it's going to take a carcass to prove that it exists. We're going to have to shoot one. The scientists are determined it does not exist. They are mistaken, but it's going to take a body, and it's going to take a body to prove to the people who think that it's a spirit. They're going to have to put their hands on it. When they can put their hands on it, they will know it is not a spirit, it is an animal.
Do you feel that there's some kind of cover up here? I mean, we have satellites, we have radar, we have sonar, we have an Air Force, we have a Space Force now, we have the US Army. Along the way, from commercial airline pilots to the Air Force, somebody must have spotted these creatures, and somebody is not letting the word get out about them, wouldn't you think?
These animals are also responsible for so many reports of UFOs because they are nocturnal. The males, the usual methods of display in mating season are ineffective because the females cannot see the male's display. So they used to have long beaks and head crests. You no longer have them, those decorations. Now the males have a method of glowing. The torsos glow in the dark. Sometimes the wings glow, certain species. This gives rise to countless reports of UFOs. That is, the males glowing in the dark, impressing the females, especially in mating season around here, that is April. It's also a fact that in Texas, there's a small town called Marfa. And in Marfa, Texas, these UFOs are a tourist attraction. The animals use this glow from their bodies to attract insects. So they fly around a huge swamp, and that glow attracts clouds of insects, which attracts flying mammals, bats. Then the flying reptiles consume the flying bats. So that they use this glow for hunting and for display. And that is the basis of so many accounts of UFO. And I have no doubt, I know for a fact, that if any scientist, anyone with a degree, scientist, is to suggest that I am right, then that scientist commits career suicide. So to protect their careers and going even beyond that, I'm suggesting to anyone, any reporter, to speak to any student of science student in any university, anywhere in the world. Ask that student what happens if they challenge any theory in any science book. They will tell you they will fail the course. The key to success, memorizing these scientific theories, which I call scientific fairy tales, because that is what they are.
Right.
Memorize them, live by them, And I say they live a life of hypocrisy.
Amazing.
I do not go by that hypocrisy, which is the reason I am a failure. I cannot earn a living working in science. So I do this on my own time, my own money, because people have the right to know not just the pterodactyl, also the woolly mammoth, for example. Bear in mind the Jefferson ground sloth is named after your third president, Thomas Jefferson. It was alive at the time of Jefferson. It's darn sure alive now. Saber-toothed cat, that's a cat within the city of Milwaukee, the Milwaukee lion.
Amazing. Amazing. Talk to me a little bit about the intersection of science, politics, and societal beliefs. They must merge at one point, and there must be enormous pressure, as you said, for our scientists to keep scientists from speaking out, political pressure to keep the masses from perhaps panicking over this megafauna. Talk to me a little bit about that and how the role of capitalism plays into all of this as well.
My conviction, no doubt, our civilization has passed its peak. Over the years, countless civilizations have come into existence, come to a peak, and then fallen into decline and collapsed. Our civilization has passed a peak. But the good news is that our civilization has experienced an industrial revolution. That never existed before. At first, both classes were revolutionary. The bourgeois, the capitalist class, they hired workers, proletarians, working class. Then when capitalism reached the monopoly stage at the beginning of the 20th century, the capitalists became completely reactionary. That just leaves the working class, the proletariat, as the completely revolutionary class, which can and must and will overthrow the monopoly capitalists, the billionaires. They have to be overthrown and then crushed under the dictatorship of the proletariat. That way we can go forward. That way science can progress. It can prove the existence of these animals. We can make great discoveries. We can go forward. That's what has to, right?
Yep, absolutely. Well, it's an amazing book, and Gerald McIsaac presents evidence contradicting the accepted knowledge about extinct mammals. The name of the book is Bird from Hell and Other Megafauna. It is a riveting read. You will hear stories in this book. You will see evidence in this book. You will learn about things in this book that are quite mind-blowing, but as Gerald McIsaac says, are quite real, and you need to know about them. Gerald, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you. My pleasure, Logan.
Enjoyed speaking with you again today. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.